Are you here? Okay, we're good. All right. Hi, guys. Sorry for the technical difficulty with the link. We're going to dive right in. I'm going to go through my slides really quickly. That's kind of my style. I'm a fast talker. I like to just kind of plow through things. It's a lot of good information. I'm going to explain to you how this program works, like how it works. And I was kind of like hemming and hawing over it, like how much do I share, how much do I not share? Like I've been using the program, going through the program for a month now. And I was like, you know what? We are all coaches here. And in just a few short weeks, like we are all going to be investing in this program. We're all going to be learning this program. None of this information should really be kept secret, I feel like, at this point. And I want you guys to understand this program so that it's not underestimated, so that you're prepared, and that you don't have a misconception of what the program is, because I feel like the title is so vague and it was nothing like what I had expected once I got into it. So I have slides. I'm going to use them. I'm going to go through them quick. Like I said, you're going to have questions and then we'll talk about them at the end. So if while I'm in the slides you have a question, drop it in the chat, because maybe I'll answer it, maybe I won't. At the end, I'll scroll back through the chat. I'll answer the questions that are in the chat, and then we can open it up and kind of have like a discussion about things that we need to have a discussion about. Sound good? All right, so I'm going to go into screen share. And start my slides. Okay, so 2B mindset. There's like a whole thing at the beginning where you like start with your goals, and she just makes you commit to yourself. Like, I'm committed to being the me that I am meant to be. And, you know, we see this a lot in challenge groups where you have to sign like a contract or whatever, you know, page 1 of the journal. You're committed. Like, you have a weight loss goal, you have an ideal weight or an ideal size, pant size, or whatever it is that you want to be, you're committed to it. Like, it's, you know, for a lot of people who struggle with weight loss, when I talk to them, they'll say like, you know, I just really want to be what I was at this age, or what I was before children, or what I was in college, or how I felt in high school when I was playing sports and blah, blah, blah. And people will sometimes become what they don't feel like on the inside. So that's kind of what this whole thing is about, like becoming the person you want to be. There's no like end goal, like lose 5 to 15 pounds. Like, it's completely self-paced. It's just a very, very beautiful thing. So before we dive in, I want to just share with you guys a little bit about who I am. I know that I've done calls for you guys before, a lot of your teams, and for FitForce in general. But we haven't done them in a while. We know that like FitForce just went under like a whole like clean out. I did something really similar with my team. So I just kind of need to reintroduce myself, tell you guys a little about my story. I've been for 4 years. I'm a lifetime 4-star diamond. However, I have multiple CBCs and I have sponsored 8 diamond coaches. I'm a Success Club All-Star. I'm a Success Club All-Star Legend. I was a 2016 Premier Coach. I've been a coach for 48 months. I have hit Success Club 47 times. 47 freaking times. I will never forget October 2017 when I went to bed on the last day of the month at 6 and I woke up at 4 thanks to a return, and I didn't check it, and it was my fault, and it was my husband's birthday, and it was Halloween, and I was like, who the fuck is gonna buy a challenge pack on Halloween night? No one. And I quit on myself and I went to bed, and I have hated myself for it. Every October, Halloween is ruined for me. So there's that. I'm an Insanity Live and Core de Force Live instructor. However, when I got started as a coach, I was broke. My husband was laid off. I had just quit my job. I had to go back to work as a bartender. So I have worked full-time as a coach. I have worked part-time as a coach. It took me 8 months to go diamond. I'm not someone that just, you know, shot out of the gate and had like this immediate success. I've been stuck at 2-star for 2 years, or at 4-star for 2 years now. I have not ranked advanced. So while I have a lot of like awesome accolades, I also have a lot of time in this business. I have a ton of consistency in this business. I have failed every goal that I have set for myself. But if I had never set any of these goals, I never would have accomplished any of these things. So I look at this list and I see a bunch of failed attempts at goals. You know what I mean? But had I never set the goals, I never would have advanced my business. So that is my biggest advice to you guys before we even dive in. You have to set goals. You have to hold yourself to those goals. And when you don't hit them, you have to go back and evaluate why, and then take the corrective action to fix it. And you have to know that some things will happen overnight and some things take time. And this business is all about consistency and time. So the more you show up for your business, the more your business will show back up for you. So And again, I say this not to brag or to say like, oh, look at these wonderful things I've done or whatever, but I say this because I've been in the business for a while and we're about to do a 2B mindset call. Just know that at this point, 48 months in the business, I would not carve out the time. I wouldn't call all the troops. I wouldn't rally this big team call. I didn't believe in this program and think that we really have something special here. So I'm here to share this call with you, and just please, please, please trust me with what I'm about to share with you, okay? So let's dive in. So they asked me to be in the 2B Mindset test group, and they asked me in February. I got the email, and I know Alyssa's done a test group before. I don't know if anyone else in here ever has, but they email you. You have to answer like immediately. They give you like no wiggle room. They're like, and we need to know by tomorrow, basically. So like I got the email on a Friday, and I needed to tell them by Monday. And I always used to joke with Kristen Young, who's also in the test group with me, that like if I got chosen for a test group, which has always been a goal of mine, I always just say, oh, it'll be for like a bullshit program that I don't even want to do. It'll be for like freaking UV2 or something like that. And when I found out 2B Mindset was releasing, I will be honest, I was like, that's such a bullshit program. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, that sounds so stupid. Like, I don't need that. Like, that will not be my market, all this stuff. So here I am, like rocking 80-day obsession. I'm getting great results. I get this email and they're like, we want to put you in the 2B Mindset test group, blah, blah, blah. Only thing is you can't do 80-day obsession. I was like, it's really happening. Like here I have this opportunity. Now I have to walk away from 80-day obsession. I had sold like 4 80-day obsession like mega packs. So after like talking it through with the people, they were like, well, you can continue the workouts. You just can't do the time nutrition. And I was like, okay, this I can get on board with now. Like, okay, like let's do this, because I said in 2018, there was going to be no like turning down opportunities. And I felt like if it was presented to me, it was a sign that I needed it. And it was. I loved it. It worked out great. So first things first, one thing I want you guys to understand, this is a weight loss program. This is not a maintenance program. This is not a let's get toned, ripped six-pack abs program. This is not a fitness program. This is 100% a weight loss program. This is for people who want to lose weight. Now, that's for them to decide how much weight it is they want to lose. It could be 5 pounds. For me, it was 6 pounds. Well, actually, it was 7 pounds. I wanted to lose 7 pounds. Okay, to me, like when you have a conversation with someone, they're like, oh, I really need to lose weight. I wouldn't think like 6, 7 pounds. You know, whether you have to lose 70 pounds, 7 pounds, 5 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 30 pounds, 20 pounds, baby weight, doesn't matter. If you are a number on a scale and you want to be a different number on a scale, it's a weight loss program. This program can be for you. So one of the things I like to point out is like all of our programs in the past have been done with personal trainers or group fitness instructors. John Jericho, group fitness, right? Autumn, personal trainer. Shaun T, group fitness. Like that's like where their background lies. We've never done a program with a nutritionist. And, you know, think about like back to your old, like past self before you got started with Beachbody or, you know, things that you've done in the past. You've wanted to lose weight. You've wanted to get in shape. And you've said things like, I wish I should work with a dietitian, or I should work with a nutritionist, or I should work with a personal trainer, or I should take classes, or you know, there's a market for people who really just want to work on their meals. And maybe they don't want to do the ultimate reset and take supplements all day. Like maybe they just want like accountability in just their food. So, you know, is the goal to lose weight? This is where it's going to get really important. This program is not going to be for everyone. Just like 80-day obsession isn't for everyone. Is the goal to lose weight, or is the goal to achieve like a desired physical look? If somebody wants to get muscular and eat more, they're going to do like a hammer and chisel. If somebody wants to lose weight, like they want to see the scale go down and they're not quite as concerned with the exercise, or maybe they don't want something quite so strict and regimented because they're coming into this huge fear of failure, then this is probably going to be right for them. So there's 4 major components to this program. These 4 things are basically what make up the entire program. So as I drink my water first. There's such a huge emphasis on water. And I know we've talked about water in other programs in the past, like half your body weight in ounces and blah, 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 blah. But with this program, like you're really not supposed to eat anything unless you've drank water first. Like nothing is supposed to go in your mouth until you've had your water. And I'm drinking so much more water now because I'm tracking it. It's amazing. I don't even actually have a desire to snack anymore because I think I'm so well hydrated. And I don't have a desire to drink anything really but water. Like I haven't, like I'm someone who likes a soda. I like those patty lattes at Starbucks. Like I'm someone who cheats a lot. Like I like my little cheats and tricks and stuff along the way. I've literally been drinking nothing but water and I'm absolutely loving it. The second component is veggies most. Like you're going to eat a lot of vegetables. They're basically like free in a sense. The scale. There's going to be a whole, so here's another one. I'm going to elaborate on all these. There's going to be a slide on each one. The scale. The scale is a big emphasis in this program. You do weigh yourself every day. Every single day you weigh in. And then tracking. So you track your weight, you track your mindset, you track your meals. There's going to be a journal. I have my tracking sheets right here that I printed out. They're like all ghetto fabulous from like a PDF that they sent us. So those are the 4 major components. So it's water first, veggies most, scale, and track. And she calls these the 2 bunnies. I don't know if you guys can see my hands. So it's water first, veggies most, scale, track. She calls these the 2 bunnies, which are like part of the 2B. So she's always like blah, 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 blah. And then waves her little bunny fingers around. So that's where the 2B comes from. So she talks about water a ton. Again, the goal is half your body weight in ounces. And you'll hear her say quite often, like more water, more weight loss. Water first before anything. And there's going to be a water bottle that comes with your kit. I think they said it's like 30 ounces or something like that. I didn't get the water bottle. I guess I'm going to have to buy one. So just tons and tons and tons and tons of water. Like we went out to lunch after Super Saturday. I ordered a lunch. We sat down at the table and I just like chugged a glass of water before I ate. So, and that's become like a big habit of mine every time I go out. And it really does help keep me like full and satisfied. The second thing is veggies most. So you're going to have veggies with lunch. You're going to have veggies with dinner, veggies or snack. Veggies are going to account for a good portion of like the food intake. So she'll say like, if you're hungry, like water first, veggies most. Like if it's not mealtime and you're like, oh, I'm hungry, like I'm going to snack, I want to eat something. Big glass of water, carrots. Big glass of water, bell peppers. Big glass of water, cucumbers. She'll say that veggies are to fill you. So like fill up on veggies. Like you can just go crazy on them if you need to. And then of course you're going to track it. The scale. So this is super sensitive. This is a really sensitive issue because you'll see other trainers and stuff like Autumn Calabrese who are like, got the scale, get on it once a week. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a number. It doesn't mean anything to someone like Autumn because her goals for you are to achieve a desired physical look, and muscle is going to weigh more than fat. And you can do an Autumn Calabrese program and you can come out of that program looking bomb as hell and gain weight. And you're going to look dynamic. So to her, the scale doesn't matter because to her, it's like stronger, leaner, fitter, you know, she's a personal trainer. But if you're a nutritionist and your goal is weight loss, the scale is like the number 1 tool we have to control weight. It's the best. It's the best tool out there. And, you know, it's important because let's say I weighed, which I have weighed this much before. I should have mentioned at the beginning, I've lost 54 pounds since starting with Beachbody. You know, let's say I weigh 170 pounds. That means nothing to who I am as a person on the inside. It literally means nothing. But if my goal is to lose weight because I don't want to have cardiovascular disease down the road, stroke, diabetes, back pain, neck pain, knee pain, hip replacement, knee replacement, I'm going to have to take ownership of that number and I'm going to have to work it down. Okay? So does that make me not a good person? Does that make me not beautiful on the inside? Like, absolutely not. It doesn't define who I am. But if I'm someone who's setting out to lose 30 pounds, I need to lose 30 pounds. I need to take ownership of that number. And I need to watch it go down. So you weigh in every day. But the cool thing is you don't get on the scale and say to yourself like, oh, still fat. Or, you know, whatever it is that you want to say to yourself in the morning when you step on that negative self-talk. Because your only goal is to move the scale 2 pounds at a time. So if you weigh 200 pounds at the start of this program, your first goal is 198. And like, how manageable is that? Like, that is so manageable. Like, how manageable is that? Right? Like, just to move the scale 2 pounds. 2 pounds at a time. And when you do move that scale 2 pounds, you go to the group and you say, I did it, 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds. And then in the group, you're just constantly celebrating people left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right. And it's really cool. Like, I'm someone who only experienced 2 weight loss days because I didn't have a lot of weight to lose. But for the people who the weight is just like melting off, like Kristen Young, who's in the group with us, she's a coach on my team. I think she's down like 11 pounds. And every time she posts that, I'm like, yay! It's like the biggest victory. And, you know, we do this with our we do this with our coaches too. We're like, 2 Success Club points! Like, you're almost there. Like, the way we create those like small wins for coaches, it's difficult to do that for challengers because we're not with them. Like, we don't have that quantitative information like we have in the Coach Online office. This is giving us that quantitative information. You know what I mean? Like, you have this tracker that we're able to have them screenshot. And then we have this 2 pounds at a time metric that we're able to like celebrate the heck out of. And it's really, really, really cool. And it's so manageable. And it's so, so, so manageable. So the next thing is you track your food. So you get these trackers. You're going to get journals. I don't know if you guys can see this. But, you know, you write down the date. You wake up in the morning, you pee, you get on the scale butt naked. You come downstairs, you write down your weight, you drink some water. You write down your total weight loss so that you're constantly revisiting like what you've accomplished. So like every day I'm like, oh, so like this morning I was like 4'9", 127, 6 pounds. And I'm like, yeah, I've lost 6 pounds since I started this program. So let's make today a good day, you know? You talk about your mindset. And I can be like, I have regret over the Thin Mints I had yesterday. Or you could be like, you know, determined to make today count. Today will be a weight loss day. Or, you know, I'm going to enjoy myself today. Like, and so you make that mental note of your mindset. And you know what's funny is when the first time I ever did 21 Day Fix, one of my biggest regrets was not journaling those first 21 days and the way I felt and the way I was feeling and, you know, how I was attacking each day because I forget. And I wish I had that to look back on, like I have this to look back on. So you write down your mindset. You track your water intake. There's all these little like bottles at the top and you check them off. If you guys, any of you have Shalene's Smart Life Push Journal, the trackers are kind of similar to that, like her food pages. You write down your breakfast, you write down your lunch, you write down your dinner, you write down the snacks that you had. And snacks are optional. And I'll be honest, like some days I snack just for something to do because I like food, like I'm a foodie. But sometimes for snack, I'm like not even hungry, but I'm like, well, I didn't make that ranch dip. So like maybe I need to dig into that with some vegetables. You write down your me time, which is really cool because there have been days where like I go back to the tracker and write down my dinner and I'm like, oh yeah, didn't do any me time today. And then I'm like, you know, I need to read a chapter of a book later tonight. And we talk about the me time in the group a little bit. Like we were like joking in the beginning. I was like, me time, showering? No? Yes? Brush my teeth? No? Yes, like, is that me time? And, you know, we were like kind of suggesting like different like me time things that you could be doing. And, you know, one person said like to make sure that you're not like snacking at night, like go up to your room, put a face mask on, read a book. So then there's like tips and stuff that are coming out of these like me times. Exercise extra credit. So exercise is not required. Obviously, everyone in the test group is doing exercise. But people who have injuries, postpartum, like 20 kids, like whatever it is, people who struggle with consistent exercise, like they can still very much do this program. Someone who loves to exercise like me, and I'm an instructor and I teach regularly, I can still do this program. And then you write down like why today was great, like what your wins were for the day. And it's really cool because then like you started over the next day. And when you go into the next day, you know, whether you lost or you didn't lose, you kind of look at like the day before and you're like, well, I could do this. I could have done that better. I'm going to do this better today. Or I've done really well. I'm going to allow this today. And it really helps you like putting it in writing, just really helps you take like ownership.
You have earplugs here?
Of yourself.
Earplugs.
Is that a question or do we need a mute? Sorry. I have like ADD. Like I can't. It's like me. It's not you. Okay, cool. So you're probably like, okay, well, what the hell are you eating? So she has this concept called like plate it. That's all she calls it. She calls it plate it. And she teaches you how to like plate your food in percentages. So for example, lunch is 50% vegetables. So you have a circle, half the plate is veggies. So you make like half that plate, like just a big giant salad. And then you take like a quarter of that plate and you make it a protein. And then you take a quarter of that plate and you make it what she calls FFCs, which are fiber-filled carbohydrates. So her fruits and her carbs, anything that's like fibrous with carbs and sugar, are just like one big category. So, you could do side salad, Greek yogurt, berries. You could do open-faced burger, broccoli. Like, you can do all kinds of things and get really creative with it. There's food lists, but they're like there's like a plethora. Like, you can have like cheese sticks. Like, there's all kinds of stuff in there. You can just have like a waffle. Like, it's not like 21 Day Fix where it's like 8 almonds and like, we were talking about this yesterday. If you want to use the containers, you can. So, I found with like berries, they kind of seemed in my purple container to account for like 25% of my plate. And I'm someone that, like, when I cut up fruit, I tend to not cut up enough of it. If it's like an apple or a banana or something, like, you just have the apple or banana. It's not, quite so regimented like 21 Day Fixes. She'll tell you that the idea of these plates is to keep you full and satisfied, veggies to fill up on, protein to keep you full, and carbs for energy. So she will, advise that the carbs come at breakfast and lunch and not at dinner, because if the purpose of carbs is for energy, you're going to eat them earlier in the day and then obviously not in the evening. Not to say that, like, if it's Pizza Friday, you can't have a piece of pizza. You can. You track it. And then if you see that scale go up a pound the next day, you might not be as inclined to choose that next time, depending on how focused you are on making your days weight loss days, if that makes any sense. Or maybe you'll stay the same and you were like hell-bent on moving that scale down 2 pounds. And then, what'll end up happening, and like what I've seen happen in like other groups in the past for people whose goal is really to lose weight, they do programs like 21 Day Fix, and they're measuring and they're prepping and they're doing all this hard work, and they're like, having the pizza and they're subbing the wine for the yellow and they're doing the workouts out of order. And there's just so many like different moving parts and no like total accountability to it. And then people will come to us and they'll be like, well, I thought my results would be better. And then you're like, okay, well, let's talk about this. And then you come to find out like they subbed a wine for a yellow every single day. Like, you're not supposed to do that. Or they ate bad, so they just did an extra workout and they thought that would be okay. Okay, whoever said that that's what we're supposed to do? You know what I mean? So the way this is designed is like you have this tracker and like, yeah, you can do that. And then you got to put it in writing and then you got to share it. And then you got to hold yourself accountable to the results. So when the results don't happen that next day or the day after, you can look back on it and I can be like, oh, today was not a weight loss day, Megan, because at 8 p.m. you ate a sleeve of Thin Mints. Okay, that's not how you lose weight. You know what I mean? And like, you can say to yourself like, oh, that one cheat doesn't matter over the course of a month. But there's something about tracking it every day that you wake up the next day and you're like, okay, well, I really only have myself to blame for that. Let's make today better, kind of thing, which is why there's no start date and there's no end date on this program. So it's just open. It's just open-ended. Like, you have a goal and then you hit the goal and that's great. But then you continue to track because maybe you're going to go to the beach or maybe you're going to go to the pool for the weekend. And maybe I'm going to go out for Lindsay's birthday like I did in February and we're going to get McDonald's at 2 o'clock in the morning on our way home from the bar. That happened. Okay. I'm not expecting to wake up and lose weight the next day, but I'm expecting to make that Monday really, really awesome because I knew I was bad and I put that in writing. So, like I said before, we have these weight loss days. We celebrate the heck out of them. They're super exciting, really motivating. What about the container system? The container system just isn't for everyone. It's just not. And it doesn't make it wrong. And it doesn't make it bad. And it doesn't mean that people can't start with this and then graduate to that because they have more confidence and they're ready to take on more and they want to sculpt their body to achieve a desired look and they're willing to do that. And, there's going to be programs like Joel's program. I don't know if that's going to be container system or not, but, there's going to be other programs that release and they're going to want to be a part of whatever it is that you're doing. So you get them started and you build that trust and you give them a program and you give them a way of eating that's going to meet their needs. Like, they'll work up to this. They will absolutely work up to containers. Containers work. but they take a little work and they take a little thought and they take a little planning and they take a little effort. This is something that's more freeing. Like I know for dinner, I have to have 75% veggies, 25% protein. That's all I need to worry about for dinner. Like, that's all I need to worry about. I don't need it measured. Like it's simple. It's simple and it's habit forming and you're able to travel. I didn't gain any weight while I was in Florida. And it's not saying that the container system doesn't work because it does. But I wholeheartedly believe that there is not one right thing out there for everyone. But I do believe that Beachbody is really good about finding something that's going to work for everyone. Like we have something for everyone. There's not one solution. There's lots of different solutions. And our company is really good at identifying that. So like, let's trust that. Let's trust that Beachbody is not shitting on the container system. Let's trust that they saw a need for something new and something different, not something better or improved, just something new and something different. For a lot of coaches in this network, they are straight up like paleo, Whole30. Like they love it, they do it, they think it's great. For a lot of people, it's the container system. For a lot of people, it's going to be this. This is just a new tool that we have. So what do you get? You get 21 videos that teach you the basics of the program. I gave you guys like the Pinterest version. You know what I mean? So here you are. It's similar to the container system. Like I gave you guys great information and you're probably thinking like, okay, I know enough to kind of like do this program. I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to eat more veggies. I'm going to just eat my 3 plates and have my veggie snacks. That's like the Walmart portion fix, okay, of what you're actually going to get. Her videos are dynamite. Like they explain like the why, the how, the science. They really get you on board with like why you're doing it. It's like little nutritional workshops. Like, so I'm like listening to it and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so interesting. And she teaches you how to like properly read a label. So like I used to just pick up labels and be like, wow, that's got a lot of sugar in it. And like not really understand how like the fiber and the proteins and the carbs affect you. She gets into all this stuff. And to me, it was like fascinating. It was like taking a nutrition class. Videos to help with your relationship with food. She'll talk about the scale, recipe videos, a book, a 90-day journal, a water bottle. The app will come out in June, and then there's going to be a list of like approved foods and stuff too. Her videos about food are great. She's using like freaking giant brand like broccoli from the freezer, like, and then some of her stuff is like a little more like Whole Foods-ish, but like it's very, very, very like manageable for like an average household. She has all kinds of like little catchphrases like out of sight, out of mind, water first, veggies most, dinner and done. She doesn't like people eating after dinner, 2 hands on the wheel, like keep your hands on your water, keep your hands on a tea, keep your hands on a coffee, and instead of like food out of your mouth. And she gets like in your head. So you watch these videos, she has all these little taglines and they stick in your head. So like I will literally be like, dinner and done, Megan. Like do not go in there. She's watching you. And it's funny because there's so many like little things that like will tell challengers. Like they'll be like on 21 Day Fix and they'll be like, I'm hungry. And I'm like, well, I heard somewhere, and I don't see this. I'm like, oh, go ahead, have some carrots and cucumbers and like have some water. Like, yeah, I've heard that before, but it's nice to know that the actual nutritionist is like telling us this stuff like in the videos. Like she covers all these like weird little questions that come up in challenge groups that you don't get to ask Autumn, that you don't get to ask Shalene, that you don't get to ask Shanti. She covers a lot of that like in the videos where we try and be helpful and advise people like down these like healthy paths and, you know, avoiding like unnecessary snacking and that the scale doesn't matter and emotional eating and blah, blah, blah. And we do our best to just kind of like encourage and support. But what's cool is she literally gives like the professional answer. So she kind of guides us in that sense as well, where we're like, okay, you know, just drink more water and maybe you won't want to snack. Like, it's nice to know that there's like a registered dietitian and nutritionist who's like advising on all this stuff that comes up in challenge groups on a daily basis. There's a big emphasis on Shakeology and Daily Sunshine. She's a huge proponent of a consistent breakfast. So she believes that people who eat the same breakfast every day typically have the best weight loss, typically have the best healthy BMIs, blah, blah, blah. She talks about Daily Sunshine a lot. She advises pregnant people to drink Daily Sunshine if they're leery of Shakeology. There's less rare superfoods in it and more straightforward ingredients that pregnant people tend to be more secure with. So, you know, you read a Daily Sunshine and it's protein, and then it's like spinach and blueberry and strawberry and it's organic and it's not like these rare superfoods, which I mean, like when I was pregnant, I was eating fucking McDonald's. So that's not food. I don't even know what that is. That's like made in a lab. I don't know like what that is, but I shouldn't have been eating it. Obviously, Shakeology would have been a better choice for me. I'm comfortable with that. That's my opinion. And that's kind of what I tell people. But don't be afraid to advise people who are unsure of the rare ingredients in Shakeology of Daily Sunshine. It's not just for children. Sean T drinks it every day on his Insta story. So, those ingredients are a little more straightforward. It's obviously a really healthy nutritional supplement if someone needs nutrients and protein built into their day. So here's the pricing and the options. So there's just the kit, which is like what we would buy, like most of us, because we already have Bob, we already have Shakeology. There's the 2B Mindset and Shakeology Challenge Pack. And there's the 2B Mindset Beachbody On Demand and Shakeology Challenge Pack. And then someone like me who's already watched the videos, there's the tracker, the water bottle. I'm going to buy it because I want access to the app and everything anyway. But like when you get through a 90-day tracker, and if you're going to be continuing on this, you can go and buy another tracker, or you can buy another water bottle. There's been people that have come forward and been like, it's expensive. It's not. Okay. It is not. I get when people are like, it's expensive, but really what they're saying is, I don't have the money. It's not expensive. Yankee candles are expensive. You know what I'm saying? Like, my cable bill was expensive. Like $200 for like 99 channels that I didn't even watch until I switched to like Sling TV. Okay, that's expensive. That's bullshit. This is not expensive if you do it and you get results. It's expensive if it comes and you don't do shit with it. It's expensive if it comes and you continue to still eat McDonald's and not follow like the plan. But, so often people will say to me like, oh, it's just so expensive. And I'm like, look, when I tell you I was broke when I got started, like I was broke when I got started. I had to literally, like, I remember my husband coming home and I was like, all right. I was like gearing up for it. I was like, I'm just going to tell him. I'm not even going to ask. Like, maybe I'm just going to say it. I don't know. Maybe I am going to ask. But somehow I need to get $160 out of our savings account so that I can buy the 21 Day Fix Challenge Pack as a coach. And then I need to somehow tell him that we're also going to get charged $15 a month after that. And I'll just deal with that $100 Shakeology recurring charge later once I get him on board with this. I'm not even going to tell him that. And because that's how strapped we were. Like at the time, like, he had just gotten laid off. We had a legal problem with a huge bill. We had debt. We had a son. We had a $6,000 NICU bill. I tell people this when they tell me it's expensive. I'm like, look, I get it. I get it. You don't want to spend the money on this because we can all free up $99 if we really, really, really need to. I'm like, look, I get it. You don't want to spend the money on this because you're unsure. But I can tell you right now, if you do this and you see this through, you will not regret it. If you don't use it, now we've got another story. You know what I mean? And all of our stuff has like money back guarantees and stuff. So, I would just get real with people. Just get real with people. And don't be afraid to offer something because of what it's going to cost. Like, I feel like people are looking at like that $200 like challenge pack. I sold 4 80-day obsession mega packs at $400 to people I never in a million years would have thought. Like, I started with that every single time. And all 4 of them, I didn't even have to get over the price objection with them. Like, they were just like, okay, that makes sense. I'm like, what? Like, are you kidding me? Because I asked. So you can never, and this is just like an advice for you guys in anything, Kickstarts, all this stuff. The way we're going to be structuring these packs now, the more good product you can put in people's hand, the more total package solution you can put in people's hand, the more we can get people eating 2B Mindset, drinking Shakeology, using Beachbody On Demand, the more successful our teams are going to be. Not the more successful I'm going to be, not the more successful Brooke's going to be, not the more successful Becky's going to be, or Jess is going to be. The more successful everyone on this call will be. We have this like total solution, yet we, as the coaches who know it works, shrink it down to the bare minimum for people. And that is selfish, okay? Go big, work your way down. Don't start small and work your way up, okay? Start at the top, and then you can start taking some things away if you need to. So that's my advice to you guys on pricing. Right now, Alana Molstein, go follow her on Instagram and Facebook and use the way she's promoting the program to also promote the program. So she's out there, she's promoting the crap out of her program. Take her inspiration and use it. Share it the same way she is. You don't want to be giving it all away for free. So I gave you guys a ton of information. You don't want to be giving it all away for free. Watch the way she jabs away at it. It's brilliant. So follow her. And then what else do I have? Is that it? Oh my gosh, that was my last slide. Okay. I know that was a lot. Let me come back here. Let me look at the chat. Oh my. I assume the app will take place of the tracker sheets. So I have tracker sheets from the test group because if Alyssa's on here, they send you all this like ghetto stuff. Like the videos aren't like real videos. They're like these weird links that look like Zoom calls from like when I first got started as a coach 4 years ago. And they send us these like things to print, but the tracker sheets are going to be that journal that you see in the pack. So if you saw the journal on Super Saturday, like you'll see it. But I believe in the app, you will also be able to track your food, kind of like MyFitnessPal. Like you'll be able to go in and like log everything. What I don't know and what I do want to know is if we as a coach will be able to see their tracked food. I would love that, but I don't know if it'll be like a private thing or a public thing. I can try and find out. Stepping on the scale every morning, not night, morning. You made me thirsty. I'm thirsty. Talking makes me thirsty. What sort of exercise goes with this? Anything. So, my advice to you guys would be obviously BOD and just know your challenger. Some might not want to work out at all, and that's okay. They're going to get exposed to it because there's going to be people in your groups that are working out, and that's okay. I'll be honest, like I wouldn't probably do an 80-day obsession type program with this because I feel like that's its own thing with the timed nutrition. But I think that when this is done, like I'm just ready for something so radically different. Like I'm probably going to do T25. That was my first program I ever did when I started as a coach. My heart keeps tugging me to that. So I think for you guys as coaches, it's important to be authentically you within this group and, not do the program that you think is going to sell or you think that's going to be like exposed to, but like, what do you want to do? It's all about our goals. Like we have to work on ourselves the same way that we need to help these challengers and guide these challengers. And no one should ever have to do a program they don't like or don't love or isn't right for them at the time to make a sale because that's unauthentic. And then that's when things start to really kind of go away. So like Brooke, she's about to have a baby. She's probably going to do this. She could do some yoga. You know what I mean? Like she'll just be getting started. And then, maybe there's someone in there who loves weights and they want to do T25 gamma round, or maybe there's someone who loves HIIT like me and they're just going to do Insanity Max 30 and eat this way, and that's fine. So I think it's really important to just identify when you're bringing people into 2B Mindset, is exercise something that you're interested in? Just ask them that. Are you interested in pairing exercise with this? Yes, no. Okay. Are you currently exercising? Yes, no. What kind of exercise do you enjoy? Dance? Not me, but there's a lot of people who do. Country heat, size. So, let them tell you is my best advice, because you'll find in these groups that they're going to be really food focused anyway. And the moving of the body is just that extra credit. How long is the program? It's until they meet their goal. So, it's my vision for my team, and obviously things change, but it's my vision for my team that there's just a team 2B Mindset accountability group. And as people decide to do 2B Mindset, they're just added. And then that is an opportunity for coaches within your team and challengers that are already in there to provide mentorship to the new people, which is always a beautiful thing when that happens. And then when you see already existing challengers providing that mentorship to the new people coming in a month, 2 months down the road, because they're seasoned pros, that's an excellent opportunity to step in and be like, the mentorship you provide other people in this challenge group is amazing. Have you ever considered becoming a coach? Okay. So these are things that you want to be aware of down the pipeline. Nope. Okay, so the videos some of them are short and some of them are long. They can range anywhere from like 3 to 10 minutes. So I like binged them over like a 3-day period. Like I watched I forget how many the first night, the most of them I watched the first night, and then I was like, all right, I gotta go to bed. And I had gotten enough at that point to get started. You know what I mean? So you can get started right away just by looking at these tracker sheets. but it's even the videos are self-paced. Like you can watch them all in one night if you want. You can watch one a day over like however many days that is. What is that, like 27 days? It's however you want, which is cool. There's going to be a challenge group guide, which I haven't seen, so that will come with it. To talk about being vegan, yes, but I didn't pay attention because I'm not vegan. I don't really have any vegans, so I just kind of skimmed over those, which is terrible, but that's just me. Like, just keeping it real. I'm like, okay, I'm not interested. Because it was funny when you entered the test group, they were hammering to us. They were like, stop making this about the business. Like, you have an opportunity to be like this virginal, pure challenger without the business. Like, just enjoy that opportunity. So I really did go into it for the first like 2.5 weeks being selfish and just being like, okay, I'm doing this for me, doing this for me. I kept having to tell myself that, like, I can't worry about anyone. Like, I have to just work this like the new baby coach or baby challenger. I say, well, today won't be the day I lose a pound often. Yeah, so 2 pounds at a time, 2 pounds at a time. But there's something about like tracking it, sharing it, having to write it down that makes you so much more accountable to it. How long are the videos? I answered that. Yankee candles. Yankee candles are expensive. They're all over my house. The best money they could spend. So we would buy the $99 kit. Yeah, and our price is like $74. Yeah, the kit has the tracker and the water bottle. So like how they sell the tracker and the water bottle individually is for people who already have the videos and maybe they want another water bottle or their spouse is going to do it and they want another tracker. So like if it's like husband and wife or, whatever, they're going to need 2 water bottles, 2 trackers. Why is the price on BB Links $89.25 for coaches? That I don't know. I got this graphic that I used in the slide from the FAQs today. So that's from the Coach Online office, and that's like super current. So I would just check back on that exactly. It's not live yet, so I don't know that I would necessarily worry until it gets closer. Walking. A lot of people I have like a little prep group going of like all the people who are interested. And a lot of people told me that they're interested in walking, and walking is okay. That's fine. So I think that's it. Does anyone have any other questions or anything that they want me? We started a prep group. What are you sharing in there? I'll add you to mine. I literally just opened it and I don't know what I'm sharing in there. I'm kind of winging it. It's funny because sometimes I think people look at me and they're like, wow, she's got it all together. And I'm like, no, I am a hot mess. Like flying by the seat of my pants. But every day I show up. There you go, buddy. Yeah, I don't mind. I can share a link. So anyone want to add anything? Brooke, I know you have a lot from your team on here. Is there anything that you want to say or add or question?
I don't think so. If anybody else, I mean, it's basically just very vague, right? And it's up to the people to kind of like go 2 pounds at a time and see what you did yesterday. And if you lost 2 pounds, then you were doing good.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. So it's like, let's say you have like all this weight to lose, and over the journey, like you start experiencing like multiple weight loss days. So let's say like here you are in your tracker in your 90-day journal and you're like halfway through and you go back and you had like 10 weight loss days. You go back, and I should have mentioned this, you go back and you look at those 10 days and you see what happened and you see what you ate and you start to see some like commonalities in the foods. Like maybe you'll start to realize that most of those mornings you had eggs for breakfast. So that's a good consistent breakfast for you, as opposed to like Greek yogurt and berries, which can be higher in sugar. So you start to see things. You'll say to yourself like, so this is interesting. And this is another reason I love this program. You guys, this is gonna blow your mind. 2 of my 3 weight loss days, I had a glass of red wine the day before. Isn't that great? Like, isn't that the best news you've ever heard? Right? So everyone is different. And that's what's cool about this. So like everyone is different. So I'm someone who can still experience weight loss and have a glass of wine. Not everyone can do that. People are affected by foods in different ways. Everyone can't eat the same exact thing and expect the same result. So, you go back and you look at it, and like those are the days I like smashed my water, I got my workouts in, I took my me time, I woke up with the right mindset. Like, you look at those days, and those are days that like everything fell into place for me. So that's what's going to happen for you guys. Like, some people are like super affected by dairy. I'm not. Like, it makes me poop like gloriously. I love it. Like, for everyone it's different. Like, my coach Angela, like, she has a piece of cheese and she looks like she's pregnant, she's bloated, like it makes her uncomfortable. So these are things that you'll start to identify as you go through the program. Like, you'll have a weight gain day and you'll be like, what happened? And you'll be like, oh, like I ate really sugary like carbs that day, or whatever it is. Like, I'm not someone who will typically eat pancakes for breakfast. I'm usually more of a steel cut oats type girl, and I have pancakes. So you start to like identify like what's going to work for you, and then at the end you come out of this with the weight loss, you have this like meal plan that you can go back to. So like if you're 10 weight loss days, there you go, you have a 10-day meal plan. Water, Buddhism, track, and scale. How could you forget the scale? That's the one everyone keeps giving me a hard time about. Everyone's like, the scale? That devil? But here's the thing, guys, and she'll talk about this in the videos. Like, you walk into a doctor's office, and like the first thing they do is they put you on the scale, because this is the other thing that's really scary. Like, in my group, I asked everyone to tell me what their starting weight was. Like, this group that I just opened, most people in there are overweight. Like, overweight. Like, the majority of people in there are like straight up 170 pounds or more. And like, when you look at those like BMI charts and stuff, like, it is so scary. Like, it is so scary how many people are overweight. And the way to track that is the scale. So you walk into a doctor's office and they pick up your chart. And I know this because I used to work for a cardiology office, and all of our patients are overweight. All of our patients have cardiovascular disease. And they walk in, and the first thing we do is weigh them and take their blood pressure. And the first thing the doctor does when he looks at the chart is he grabs that BMI, because that is like such an indicator of your health. Like, that's like one of the first tools. Like, that's like the first line of command. So the minute they see that, they can already say like high risk for diabetes, high risk for high blood pressure, high risk for coronary artery disease, high risk for this, high risk for that. Like, they can already start putting all these risk factors like right into your chart, just off that one little number. And for whatever reason, we tell people to not worry about that number when there's so many people in the world whose like life is depending on that number. So, yes, it doesn't make you a good or bad person, but for some people, it really does become like a matter of life and death. And I hate to sound super dramatic about it, and I know it sounds ridiculous coming from someone like me who's super small, but like, there are a lot of people out there who literally need to lose weight, or they're going to be dependent on medications, they're going to be having surgeries, they're going to be having cardiac casts, they're going to be having hip replacements, knee replacements, when really they could just eat like this, and it would just solve all their problems. That's all that needs to happen. And we get to support them and help make that happen. And then they become really grateful to you when it happens. Whew. Beer and pizza. Yes, Linz. Beer and pizza. And at night too. So she'll say, and and that's like typically something that you have at night. And we shouldn't be having carbs at night, because what are carbs for? Energy. And these are things that she teaches you in the videos. Oh man. So that's all I have for you guys. I hope this was helpful. It's so much information. But I think that it was important to share it, because I think that people were like, what the fuck is this program? like what is this program? And like, how does it work? Like, it makes no sense. So, I was like, this needs clarification, because this is good. And like I said at the beginning of the call, I was like, that program sounds terrible. Like, when they first announced it, I was like, really? Like, really? Beachbody? Thanks. What am I supposed to do with that? And now I'm like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. So, if you were unsure of it or whatever, like, please, please, please do it. Talk about it, promote it, offer it, sell it, start groups.
Hey, Megan, I have a question. Since most of us were not in the test group, how would you suggest the best way for us to promote it?
I think the best way to promote it is to get people to just identify that there is weight that has to be lost, and they need to say it out loud, and then they need to be committed to that change. And then what I would do is I would talk in the group about increasing water intake, increasing sugary drinks, sugary foods, the shit foods, eat clean, eat 3 times a day. Sorry, eat 3 times a day, have snacks that are healthy. You know what I mean? Like not Doritos. Like people eat bad, and they say that they don't, but they do. They eat bad. Most people eat bad. Like really bad. And they're like, oh, my eating's not that bad. And then you're like, well, why don't you write it down for me? And then they write it down for the day, and you're like, no, that's terrible. This is terrible. Get people tracking their water, things that we do in our other groups. You know what I mean? Like it isn't weird to ask people what they ate today. I mean, I wouldn't say to people like, make sure you eat 50% this, 25%, 25% that, but like ask people to start writing down what they ate. Ask people to start checking in with their water. Ask people to not eat and to try like to identify when their snacking is, because there's not really like a ton of snacking in this program. Identify when your snacking is, and let's commit to cutting that. So if it's like that after school time, I know a lot of moms do that where they come home with the kids and they're in the kitchen with like the books and stuff, and they just start diving into like counter snacks. I know a lot of people do that around like 4 o'clock. For me, I like to snack after bedtime. Like I will just go wandering in. I'm like, oh, a little bite of this, a little bite of that, a little bite of this, a little bite of that. Like get people to identify that and stop it. And just eat those like 3 square meals a day with healthy snacks in between and stuff like that. Kind of how I would do it, like little mini challenges that kind of align with what's going to be happening without telling them that's what's going to be happening, because you don't want them, like I said, to do the Walmart version of this program. Like you want them to invest in it, so you can't go giving it all away. But it's not rare for us to do water challenges. Water is a huge part of this. I don't know if I would go asking them to step on the scale every day and lose 2 pounds. That's kind of giving it a little bit away. But I would identify snacking. I would do some water stuff, clean, sugar, eliminate your sugars. How are people sure they're eating enough calories for their goals? This isn't paired with exercise, is kind of the way she explained it to us in the test groups. So, Autumn has you eat to achieve muscularly a desired look. So you're fueling like those muscles, not so much yourself. 3 square meals a day with vegetable snacks is enough. You know what I mean? Like that's enough for everyone. That's sustainable for people who need to lose weight. You know what I mean? And if you're hungry, you can have snacks, but they have to be like appropriate snacks. And most people are hungry because they're dehydrated. And I always just feel like, oh, such crap, because I didn't, and I'm not dehydrated. But I do think I was dehydrated, and I'm a coach, so there's that. And I do like water, and I do drink water, but I can tell you right now I was not drinking enough. And I know I was supposed to drink like half my body weight in ounces and blah, blah, blah. And I always thought like maybe I did, but I don't think I really did. I'm like, oh yeah, I filled these huge bottles and that's enough. But then like some of them I'm leaving like a quarter in there and blah, blah, blah. So, more water, more weight loss is what she'll say. 1,200 calories. Someone who needs to lose 20 pounds, someone who needs to lose 80 pounds. She says, just this is fine. Like she doesn't believe in like work out more, eat more. She doesn't believe in if I'm gonna have treats, I need to work out to work off that treat. Like it's a completely different approach. Like it's like the nutritionist like viewpoint versus like the personal trainer's viewpoint, where she's teaching us to eat for a loss, and they're teaching us to eat to make some sort of change with our bodies. That might not necessarily be like weight loss. It typically ends up being weight loss because people lose, but it's just different. Like trainers will teach you to eat to fuel a workout. Like she's not teaching us to eat to like fuel through a workout. Like she's teaching us to eat, and then she'll talk about introducing exercise and how it's fine, and like you might need some more water or like an extra snack or whatever. Breastfeeding was fine, and she didn't say to eat any more or any less. She's 8 months pregnant right now, so she'll be breastfeeding right around when this program starts. It's her intention to breastfeed. But honestly, what's going to keep up supply is this water that you have to drink. Like the water is like a huge component to supply, you know that. And then there's oats and things that are allowed, you know what I mean? So, but she's not like, oh, you get to eat a second dinner or anything like that. Like you're still going to eat your 3 square bounce meals a day, your snacks, water, and all that good stuff. And you're going to be doing better than most, you know?
Hey, Meg, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay, let me ask you this question to clarify it a little bit, because I don't know if I put it into text properly. So she teaches you how to plate your meals with 3 meals a day, half veggies, quarter, whatever, the other 2. So for somebody who is 200 pounds and needs to lose a significant amount of weight, so basically we're all plating our food the same way. Okay, so somebody who is 200 pounds is eating the same amount of food that somebody who is 150 pounds and maybe wants to lose 10. That's a huge, huge difference in caloric intake. The deficit that the person is eating, say, we're just going to call it 1,200 calories or 1,500 calories. So we have a person who is 200 pounds and is eating 1,500 or 1,200 calories. And the person who's 125 and wants to get down to 115 is also going to be eating 1,200 calories. Like, that's a huge deficit.
You can't right. Be because like some people might be having like a Chobani Greek yogurt and some people may be having egg whites. You know what I mean? So the range is so there, and the whole idea, I hope my computer doesn't die because it's only 5%. But the whole idea is to be so experimental every day that you figure out what's going to work for you and you figure out what's going to keep you full and satisfied. So for some people, they eat like heartier meals, and for some people they eat like leaner meals. And you know, in the group, in the test group that we're in, it's all over. It's like all over the board. So, you know, that's why it's so important to do the track. Because then what happens is you go back and you can see like what's working and what's not, what was a weight loss day, what wasn't. But there's people in the group that weigh well over 200 pounds, and there's people like me who I started at 132. I'm doing it right alongside Kristen Young, we probably have about a 35-pound difference in weight, her and I. She just had a baby. She's down, I think, 11 pounds. I'm down 6. We're eating different, but not like radically different. She's not expressing to me that she's hungry. There's been days that I have felt hungry. I've had a Shakeology, or I've just had extra veggies, or I've had more water, or I've had a coffee, or I've had a tea. And, you know, nothing's completely eliminated and nothing is totally restricted. So if you're hungry, she'll teach you, like, have a glass of water, have some veggies. If you're still hungry after that, you wash and repeat. Have a glass of water, have some extra veggies. So you can eat more. You are absolutely able to eat more, but she forces you to identify whether or not that's true hunger, you know? And there are people who have more snacks. Like sometimes I don't even need the snack. And like I said, I eat it just for fun. And there are people who will have like 2 or 3 of them. And it's not that it's not allowed. It's not that it is allowed. It just needs to be tracked. And then you can go in and see from there, you know? So like, let's say you have 2 weight loss days. Let's say you weigh 200 pounds and you go back and you have 2 weight loss days where you snacked twice. And then the rest of your days, you snacked 3 times. Like, so you're someone who probably can get away with snacking twice, but shouldn't snack 3 times, you know? But other people might snack once as opposed to twice. So you can eat more food, and the snacks like kind of allow for that. And she teaches you like around like battling that kind of stuff. So it's not like that's all you can eat, you're done, you know? And it's working. Like I'm watching these people and I'm like, this is just working. Like just trust Just trust. I snack like 3 times a day. I know, Lauren, I snack too just for fun because I like food. Like, I just like it. Like, I open I'm like, wow, look at all this food. Like, I just love it. Like, I love healthy food. I love bad food. I love all food. So yeah, the one thing she is.
Megan, can I ask a quick question?
Yeah. I have 4%.
Oh, so first of all, you did awesome. I love listening to all of this, but when I first heard about this program, it tied, like, I immediately thought emotional eating. And I feel like it's a good topic to talk to people about. Do you feel like the videos that she talks about tackles those people that truly have like a long history with emotional eating? Like, do you feel like this will work, and does that tackle that or not really?
I don't know if I can say that for sure because I'm not someone who struggles with emotional eating. So I don't want to say like, oh yeah, it tackles that, because I don't know what that feels like. So I can't say for sure, but I can tell you there's this video where she shares her story. And I was like bawling. Like, I felt like I just had a baby. I was like, get control of yourself, Megan. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, are my hormones raging or something? She talks about being a child and her parents divorcing, and like she would go away to like fat camp and like lose 30 pounds and then come back to school and like allow herself to gain 50 because she knew she would just go back to fat camp and like lose 30 again and then gain 50 and then lose 30 and then gain 50 and then lose 30. And then she like went into high school. She weighed over like 200 pounds. And it was like, when she's like telling it, I was like, oh my God. Like, it started when she was like 6. And I was just like, oh my God, like, I just can't, like, and the way she tells the story, and I was like tears streaming down my face. I'm like, what is the matter with me? But she does a really great job of connecting with someone who would struggle with weight. So I do know that because she connected with me, and I'm not someone who struggled with weight. Like, I, have lost 50 pounds of Beachbody, but that was straight up, like, I gained a lot of weight when I had my son. Like, it was just baby and mush everywhere. But growing up, I never struggled with anything like that. I was never a binge eater. I never had an eating disorder or anything like that. So I don't want to say honestly yes or no, because I can't really identify with that. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, but I will say she tugged at my heartstrings for sure. So she can definitely identify with that. And I would like to think that if she identifies with that, she would design, that's her specialty, and that's what she works with. And she has a specialty with children, and, she's worked at hospitals like all over, and she's got a ton of experience, and she's incredibly intelligent and really sweet. And I really like her. When you track, are you entering measurements or just the food items? Well, on the tracking sheet, there's going to be like a little diagram. So like you can see like that 50-50. And then like I just write it in. And then she'll say to people a lot of times, like, the problem is that they're not being like specific enough for her. So like today I wrote like eggs, banana bread, coffee, strawberries. But like, are you cooking your eggs with a half stick of butter? Like, how are you making your eggs? Like, that could be a problem. You know what I mean? So like, if you look at someone's sheets, you can be like, all right, well, eggs is cool, but like you smothered them in 3 pieces of cheese and you cooked them with butter. Or you could have egg whites with coconut oil. So like you're able to go back in and help people like determine like a leaner correction. Like if they come, and like we struggle with this with like our challenge groups now, like people come to us and they're like, I ate containers. I'm like, a Spider-Man waffle is not a yellow. But like if they don't write it down for you to see, like you can't give that correction. So now you have this and you can go back in and like give that correction or that like leaner option for people to try swapping out instead, Oh, I'm at 2%, so we might need to wrap this up because I would hate for it to just cut off. Let's take a picture. Want to do that? Yeah, so real quick, we'll end on this with Adrian's side. It puts so much of the accountability back on the challenger, which is so refreshing as a coach. Like, it's just so refreshing as a coach to be like, no, go look at your sheet. It's not me. It's not this group. It ain't Beachbody. Like, you go look at your little sheet, honey. And then you share that here. And we'll talk about that sheet, because that sheet, that's not how you lose weight. And somebody asked me the other day, they were like, what if they don't like to eat veggies? I'm like, you have to eat vegetables to lose weight. I'm like, seriously? You know what I mean? Like, so you can start having those conversations with people and you'd be like, well, that's not what's on the sheet. So that's not going to be a weight loss day. I don't understand what you're asking me here. It makes it so much easier and simpler for us. All right, hold on. It's picture time. Ready? Oh, we could all go like this. Should we all put up little twos? Yes. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There's a soccer ball in the background. Let me get closer. All right, again. Okay, good. That was good. All right. I'm going to wrap this up. Brooke, can you process this whenever you get a chance? Okay. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Bye, guys. Heather, I saw you yesterday. Next time I see you, you'll probably have a baby. Bye. Kristen, real quick. Joel's cat shirt. Where is she? Talk, please.
I can't. We were like, everyone around me was like, you need that shirt. I'm like, I know.
I was like, as if he wasn't already hot.
Yeah, right. He just got 1,000 times hotter. Meow. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Megan.
You're welcome. Bye.